Good morning. Welcome to episode 2, take 2 of the Trilogy Yarns podcast. I recorded one yesterday. Today is Saturday, May 21st, 2022. I recorded an episode on Friday, and when I played it back, I was not impressed with the quality of the episode. And because I am not very computer literate, I didn't know how to edit it. So I thought, yeah, let's just start over because this is fun and I like talking to you guys, even though you may not see all the times I talk to you. So, like I said, it's Saturday morning, May 21st, 2022. I'm coming to you from Spokane, Washington, which is in the Pacific Northwest, where it's kind of bordering on maybe fourth winter, early spring. The weather here is absolutely crazy, and that is why I am wearing a wool sweater. We haven't even hit 70 degrees yet, which for us, for this time of the year, is crazy. There's snow on the mountains. We live in a little valley. Spokane is pretty much surrounded by low hills, not high mountains, but low hills. And they still have snow on them. And rule of thumb is normally you don't plant anything till there's snow off of Micah Peak. I don't know. It's going to be a really short growing season this year. Sorry if you can hear background noise. I have a granddaughter that's packing to move out, and we'll talk about that when we get into life updates. But let's get into it. My name is Nancy. I am the owner and one of the dyers behind Trilogy Yarns. I do have a part-time person that helps me dye, which has been such a great help. I've been so busy that I can't do it all myself, and that's a good thing. I am not complaining at all. That being said, I think I decided yesterday that I'm going to try to work a 4-day week. Try with a capital T. I don't know how it's going to go because I usually end up working even a little bit on Saturday mornings, work Monday through Friday and then a half a day Saturday. But I need to get out and get reacquainted with my yard. So I don't know. Best laid plans. Last time I said I was going on vacation, that lasted a week because I forgot I had a trunk show that week. Anyway, let's get into this. I have one finished object, one that should be a finished object, 2 works in progress, a new cast on that I'm going to cast on. I don't know if I'll get to it this weekend, but for sure by the first of the week, a couple new acquisitions and shop news. So grab a beverage. I'm drinking coffee. It's only my second cup of the day, so I should not stumble on my words today. I think that was the problem yesterday. I think it was on cup 3 or 4. And the synapses in the brain weren't firing with what my mouth was trying to say. So it was just a hot mess. So grab a beverage, grab a project if you wish. Otherwise, just sit back and let's get into this little crazy corner of the YouTube world that I have started. So, let's talk about what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Cobalt by Sarah Solomon. Love, love, love this sweater. This is done out of Woolfolk Luft. And if I did a project page, I would know what color it is. It's probably either navy or denim. I'm not sure what their color is. I could have looked. This, the Woolfolk Luft, if you've not knit with it, is such a nice fiber. It's like a tube, and I think it's like a cotton not a tube, but like cotton mesh, and they blow the merino fibers into it. So it's light, it's very warm, it's very, very soft. I have pretty sensitive skin, so I have to be careful what I wear next to skin, but this is gorgeous. This is about, well, I knit this before the pandemic. So it's probably about 4 years old, and it's still one of my best loved garments. It has the little kind of stand-up funnel neck, just raglan sleeves, just straight. So that is what I'm wearing, the Kabult. Finished objects. I finished some socks. I think last time we podcast, I had 2 of them. I'll just hold one up. I think last time that I podcast, these were on the needles. So this is done out of my, let's see if I can get a good color representation. This is done out of my Glamorous base. This was part of last year's Christmas Advent. The theme of last year's Advent was Christmas Vacation. So this was the full skein that you received on day 25. And of course, the name of this is Christmas Vacation. I do my socks toe up. I do Judy's Magic cast on. I cast on 14 stitches, and then on a magic loop, I increase to a total of 64 stitches, so 32 stitches on each needle. And then I switched over to a 9-inch circular, which is my preferred method of doing socks. I do 70 rounds for the foot. I do the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And this is the heel that really fits my foot the best. So I do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and then I do 60 rounds for the leg, 2x2 cast off. Oh, you can see my end peeking out. So they're finished, they're just not woven in. 2x2 rib, knit purl rib for 12 rounds. So that is my recipe. So I have another pair of socks. I'm gonna have to either go to a larger sock drawer, although I do tend to throw a lot of socks in a gift drawer. So if any of the kids ever want, if they're complaining they don't have enough socks. I like to knit socks for my sister, but her foot is smaller than mine, so I have to plan ahead. And then for my brother-in-law, his feet are bigger around than mine, so I have to really plan ahead for if I'm doing socks for somebody else. My second project that should be a finished project, I'm going to switch my screen and show you. It is the Church Mouse poncho, which is just a really fun poncho. Love it. So I have to tell you my story though. So I knit this out of Trilogy Yarns Timber Wolf in the DK, the MC and DK base. It's 50 inches of stockinette. Now I've been knitting for a lot of years, and you would think, oh man, it smells really good. I washed this in Tuft Woolens. Their sock soap, so it smells so good. Anyway, you would think that I would learn to read patterns. It's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to give too much information. So it calls for a provisional cast on, and then you knit your 50 inches, and then you sew it together. So in my mind, I'm thinking provisional cast on. So I need to rip that out and have live stitches. So I must do a 3 needle bind off to join the provisional cast on to my cast off edge. So I did that. 3 needle bind off. I did it, or you can't even see it. There it is. There's my 3-needle bind off. I blocked it. I thought I would block it before I sewed up the shoulder seam. So I did. I'm going to go back to the picture of this poncho. So what I did was, here is your cast on edge and your bind off edge. Well, thinking, okay, well, they're live stitches, I must have to Kitchener them or 3-needle bind off. I bound off, I 3-needle bound off on this edge here. And then I was going to sew this up for my shoulder and have the neck opening. Well, I know what you guys are saying. That doesn't work. This is so funny that I'm telling this story. On Thursday night when we were Zooming, Kevin from Needles at the Ready was talking about a sweater, his sweater he's just finished. And somebody told him that he had done it all wrong. And we were laughing at him because, you know, he did the sweater. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. He had his own design element to it, and it turned out beautiful. He's going to laugh now when he hears that I've made this stupid mistake too. So even the best of us knitters make mistakes. So this will be done by next week. I will take out my 3-needle bind off. I will stitch this side together, leave this opening for my neck, and then I will have a beautiful poncho to wear. So I'm almost calling it done. Truly, it'll be done by next week. I was making that. I'm working on some Rhinebeck garments. I am going to Rhinebeck this year if I can get an airline ticket that is not going to cost me a kidney, because right now they're so expensive. But I wanted to make that for Rhinebeck because you never know there. The weather can be total sweater weather one day, and the next day it's like t-shirt and shorts. So I've heard. I've never been to Rhinebeck, so this is my inaugural year. So those are my finished objects. What I am currently working on is another sock. I like to do socks. I'm sorry for this. I always have a sock, almost always have a sock going on the needle, especially when I'm doing trunk shows, because I can stick the yarn under my arm and I can walk around and interact with people and knit on socks. So during trunk show season, I tend to get a lot of socks done. So as soon as I finished the Christmas vacation socks, I had cast on another pair. And on this pair, I have just finished the heel turn, the fish lips kiss heel. So I'm ready to go up the leg. So this yarn is, you can see my markers for counting my rows. So I do 70 rows for the foot. And you're saying, well, there's 8 markers there, but this is my first marker from when my last toe increase was. So those 70 are for the length of my foot. This yarn was last month's colorway. I don't know if it's the light. I don't, as well, it's kind of gray outside anyway, but the lighting is terrible in here, but it does have some greens and golds, some browns. This was last month's Broadway Musicals Club, and this one was called Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So yeah, the Broadway musical clubs, it's a shipment each month. You get your choice of base, either a MCNDK or a Plush base. With each shipment, you get the playbill cover. It's photographs, not the actual playbill of the musical. You get a sample of some Eucalyptus wool wash. You also get a little extra goodie. I think in this one, I sent maybe darning needles. So you're going to get either some kind of a nice little knitting notion. You might get some self-care, some lotions, maybe some, chapsticks, just some little self-care stuff. So that's what's included in that. Anyway, so this was an extra skein. So this is Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, first sock. I'm trying to think. I don't have any in-person trunk shows before I podcast next in 2 weeks. So I don't know if I'll have those done. Depends on, well, I do have some appointments and stuff coming up, so maybe. And my second project, I'm still working on my Sunday tee. I think I just dropped a stitch. You know, there's these really cool things called point protectors so that you don't have stitches that fall off of your needles. Okay, we're good. So this is my Sunday tee by Petite Knits. And this is going to be a yarn management, also going to be another Rhinebeck sweater. I am doing this one. The pattern called for just a single color, but I really wanted a striped summer tee. So the purple is on my singles base, which is a 70% superwash merino, 30% mulberry silk in the colorway Royalty. And then my Surrey, and I don't know if you can see, yeah, see the halo on that. So the other color I'm doing on my Surrey base, which is Surrey alpaca silk, in the colorway Maggot Museum. So this has a yoked, it's got a ribbed yoke. So your increases are incorporated in the rib, and then the body is just done in stockinette stitch. And I think I have about 12 inches of the body done. So I am going to try it on. I might do a couple more inches and then try it on. I don't do cropped sweaters. I think that would embarrass the grandkids. So I don't do cropped sweaters, but I'm going to do maybe a couple more inches, which is the equivalent of maybe 2 more stripes or a stripe and a half. And then I'm going to try it on and see how much longer I want to make it. And then it's got short sleeves. So I've got my stitches, my sleeve stitches on waist yarn here. It has a short sleeve, but it's not a real, excuse me, capped short sleeve. It's almost down to the elbows. And I like that because I have these arms that, you know, shouldn't be seen in public, maybe, I don't know. So I'm going to do at least a longer, maybe just above the elbow for the short sleeve, and then I'm going to try it on. So this is another Rhinebeck garment. I think I said that. This will be great if it's hot because it is made out of my single space, which is a perfect warm weather knit. It's great for summer tees. It has, being a single ply, it has a gorgeous drape to it. And with the silk in it, it has a nice sheen. So really good for summer tees. So I think this will be a really fun summer tee. So that, my friends, I'm trying to get the yarn out of the bag because I want to show you something else, is my works in progress. So next, we should go to future cast on. I was at, last week for 5 days was the Puget Sound LYS tour over in the Seattle area. And so I spent 5 days doing a trunk show at Nifty Knitter. And first of all, I want to thank everybody that came out to see me. It warms my heart when I can hear customers coming into the store and the staff is going, oh, and Trilogy Yarns is here in the back. And some of them will say, oh, we just came to see Trilogy, or we came to, you know, see Nancy or get some yarn. So thank you everyone that shopped my trunk show last weekend. It was a long 5 days. I was pretty tired. Usually, like when I came back from Vogue and I came back from this show, 2 days after I'm home is when I hit the wall. I don't know if it takes me 2 days to come down, or if, you know, as you age, everything slows down. So maybe my body is just like, okay, I think we need to, you know, hit the wall, but I'm not quite sure when. So I came home Monday of this week from Seattle, and Wednesday was like, I was just in a total fog. I had errands to do. I really probably shouldn't have even been driving. I was done for. Better today. So while I was over at this yarn crawl, every store has to do 2 patterns. They have to write 2 patterns or have 2 patterns written for them. They have to have the samples knit up out of a feature yarn. And then the patterns are free to the customers. And then they, have that option of buying the yarn. I did not get out to any of the other stores, but the patterns at the store I was at were drop dead gorgeous. So that is my future knitting. Let me switch over to the patterns and I'll talk to you about them. And so it's not that one. So this one here is the knit one, and this is done by Sylvia Harding. Isn't that gorgeous? And what you can't see from the pictures it's got beads in it. So you can see like those 3 dots there, those are all beads. And look at this stitch here, this starflower stitch. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. And then the top color also has beads in it. So I think what I'm going to do is put beads just on the bottom section. I was going through my basement the other day, and at one point I was doing a lot of knitting with beads. So I had a lot of beads, and I ran across this almost shoebox size box of different types of seed beads and stuff like that. So I am going to do mine out of the top color. It's not going to be that one. The top color is going to be my dusty mauve. And that's a pretty good representation right there. So that's going to be the top color, and my bottom color is going to be Platinum Mist, which is it's blowing out there, but it's a very, very light silvery platinum. And then I'm not going to put beads in this section, but I am going to put beads in this section. So I'm going to look for either a mauve-y bead or a bead that's got color that'll really pop in this. It's a 2 skein project, 1 skein of each. So I'm super excited to cast that on hopefully the first of the week. The other pattern that they had, and I'm going to share my screen one more time. The other pattern that they had there was for a crocheted pattern. And this is the Camilla by Vicki Chin. I think in person, it was absolutely stunning. And I do crochet. I don't crochet as much as I would like, but I think I'm going to make this one too. Now, they had 2 samples made up. They had it made up in a fingering. I think it was 100% superwash merino fingering base, but they also had it made up in the Siri alpaca silk base. It was just soft and elegant. So I think the next shawl I'm going to do, I try not to do more. I try not to get too many projects going. So 1 shawl at a time. But I think the next one I'm going to do is this one. And I'm going to do it out of my Siri base. I think it would be great. A little bit of warmth, but still light as a feather. So that is my future knitting. Okay, let's talk acquisitions. While I was at the trunk show, I had taken a project bag and I had a sweater, my shawl, and a pair of socks in this project bag. and it was bursting at the seams. I couldn't get it zipped. So they had project bags there for sale, and I found this one, and this one is by the Crafty Little Fox. I think she's local to the Seattle area. It is a nice size bag. It has the waxed canvas bottom, and just it's a real dark charcoal gray, and then this really fun floral print. It's got drawstring handle. It's got the nice little leather straps. One strap, singular. I like it because you can fold it down and make a little bucket out of it. So there is the lining. It does have 2 pockets. 2 pockets there on the inside. So it's got that, just a really fun bag. And of course, I immediately put all my projects from the other bag I had into that, closed it. I still had room for a water bottle and everything. So this is great. The other thing that I bought, and I've been on the fence about this one for a long time. There's a lot of gadgety knitting tools. And so I was just kind of sitting back, and I was watching the cashier, and they were selling a lot of this particular item. So I thought, well, they had like 2 left. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And that is the Barber Cord. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Barber Cord. It comes with, I got the lilac color. So it comes with 2 30-inch cords and 1 60-inch cord. And the trick is, and I'm going to find a project here, when you need to either put stitches on a holder, like for your sleeve, for sleeves on sweaters, if you want to put a project on either waste yarn or long cables to try it on, you can slip your yarn onto this. So I don't know that anybody's going to see that. I don't think so. But there is a little, I can't even see it, a little pinpoint hole on the end of this little rubberized tube. And the trick is, or what you're supposed to do, is slip it onto your needle tip. And then you can transfer stitches. Okay, well, maybe it's not on right. You're supposed to be able to transfer stitches over to the cable. And then when you are done and you're going to go back and put the stitches back on the needle, I'm not going to take that off because I may have a stitch on there. You can slip it back onto the needles. So, you know what? I don't know. It didn't slide as smoothly as I thought it would. I'm not a tight knitter, so I don't know if that's it. So comment below if you guys use Barber cords, what your thoughts are on them. The concept is great. So hopefully I can get it to work where I can put it on maybe a little better and have my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. So that was my acquisitions. I'm looking at my notes after I just said I can't see without my glasses like I could read them. So I think that brings us to shop news. If you're here for just the knitting content, thank you. You may leave. If you want to stick around and hear about shop news, I'd love to have you stay. I don't have too much shop news. I have some new colors. You saw one of them earlier. Oh, let me preface this by saying I am excited about doing up some new colorways for my shop. I haven't counted, but I am thinking I have about 150 different colorways. And on each colorway, I have 7 or 8 bases dyed up. I truly have a lot of yarn down in my yarn room. That being said, with wanting to do some new colors, I need to get rid of some colors. Maybe not permanently, but they need to go on hiatus for a while, maybe a year or more. So I just recently uploaded some of my colorways into my sales section on my shop. And all that information about the shop and the links will all be down below. So I went through and I picked out some colorways that A, I've had in the shop for a while. B, I liked them more than you guys did, so they weren't moving very fast. And C, just for some freshness. So be sure and look at my sales section. And you guys, they're on sale for $15 a skein. That's practically me paying you to get the yarn. So once they're gone, they're gone. Currently, I just reloaded the sales section on Thursday of this week. I have moved quite a bit, but there's still a pretty good size inventory. So this one is Peachy Queen, and I'm hoping, those colors are pretty true. It's not pink, it's more of a peachy color. It's got some speckles of greens and yellows. So this one is Peachy Queen. Look, is that focusing? Kathleen's not here to tell me. Peachy Queen. This one is Retro. Just a nice soft yellows with some reds, orange, greens, speckles in it. Wow, that is really blowing out though. I don't know. Retro. You can look at the pictures on the website. Hopefully they're better than this is. Death Watch Beetle. This one is really going to blow out when I bring it close. It's highlighter yellow, and highlighter yellow will glow under a UV light, so you can have fun. So it's highlighter yellow, some oranges. Oh, there we go, blown out. Some oranges and some darker colors. So Death Watch Beetle. And then the other sample that I brought up, like I say, there's quite a few colors in there, is Herd of Turtles. Herd of Turtles has been a really fun colorway, but I think it's time for a rest. So Herd of Turtles, and I have these colors. The majority of them are available on, I think I had them on 5 different bases: fingerings, DKs, some series, some singles. You'll just have to look. So when you go to the sales section and you click on a colorway, if there's a colorway you want, it gives you an option of which base to select. So I have that in the shop. So I've got new colors. That's where I was headed with this. So I did 3 new tonals this week. The first one you saw was Platinum Mist. So it's just a real silvery platinum. I think it's like the hair color that a lot of ladies want to get, but it's real pretty Platinum Mist. This is available on all my bases. The next one is London Fog. So this one is kind of a taupey, dirty, grayish taupe color. Just maybe what you think of when you think of fog, just kind of blah, but it's such a rich color. So London, I'm not saying this is a blah color. I'm thinking that London Fog would be blah. This is a gorgeous color. And the last new color we did this week was Seafoam. Let's see. So it's just it's kind of coming across a little more blue there. Oh, but it's got some undertones of blues, but it's got some shades of green. I guess put it away, see if we can get it to. So that is Seafoam. So those are the 3 new colors that'll be going into the shop. Honestly, I may not get them in until Monday. If you follow me on Instagram, there again, details will be down below, link down below where you can follow me. I'll post it on Instagram when it's in the shop. When we go into life updates, I'll tell you why. It may not get in Monday, but for sure by Tuesday. So I have that. I have a trunk show next weekend. If you live in the Virginia area, I'm doing a trunk show at Yarn Seasons, and it's in Glade Hill, Virginia. Oh, I just blew out. So that'll be starting May 28th. So if you're in the Virginia area, go give Yarn Seasons some love. Go give Trilogy Yarns some love. I met the owner of the shop. She came to Seattle for Vogue Knitting. That was in April. And she wanted to know if I wholesaled and would I be willing to do a trunk show. So I said yes to both. So she will be running a trunk show. Sadly, I will not be there. It's really not practical for me to go to all the trunk shows. I try to run about three trunk shows a month. 1 or 2 of those is usually out of state. So I can't make it to those. I will be, though, in 2 weeks from today, and I will try to upload a podcast before I go. I'm trying to stay on the 2-week schedule. But 2 weeks from today is Fiber Fusion Northwest over in Monroe, Washington, which is north of Seattle. So I will be there for a show. I will be sharing a booth with Judy from Quintessential Knits. So if you're in the area, they're going to have, well, I don't know what they're going to have. I've never been there before. But what I have heard is there's going to be fiber artists. There's going to be spinning. I believe there's animals that you can come see. Somebody said they have really good food there. That's always a plus. So I'll be there for Fiber Fusion Northwest, which is June, I think it's 4th and 5th. So it's 2 weekends from today. Yeah, so that'll be fun. What else do I have to tell you about? I talked a little bit about my Broadway Musicals Club. That one's been really fun. I also have my Color Explosion Mini Club. That's a fun club because we get to play with new colors. So with that club, you get 6 20-gram minis every month. So you can, play with some new colorways, play with some one-of-a-kinds. If you do scrappy projects, if you like to do gnomes. I think the gnomes are so cute. I don't have the desire to make one. If somebody wants to make some for me, I would love that. But I don't have the desire to do gnomes. My Friends Club I've been having fun with that. Let's see. Last month's was, I'm not going to show you a skein of it because everybody should have it. But if not, and you want to not, well, I can tell you what the name is. I'm just not going to show you a skein. So last month's theme was Going Commando, which is one of my favorite scenes from the Friends. Joey puts on Olive Chandler's clothes and comments he's going commando. So that was last month's theme. My Christmas, I'm looking off into the future. I've got show notes over there. My Christmas in July Advent is available for, excuse me, 1 more week. I'm going to close pre-orders for that the end of May, and that will ship middle of June. So Christmas in July Advents are going to be closed. I always like to send goodies with my Advents. I'm very careful with my Christmas in July Advents. I don't want to send chocolate that's going to melt. So I may not put as many edible goodies in the Christmas in July Advent, because even though I package them separately, I just don't want to take a chance. But for the Christmas in July Advent, you have two options. You can do a 15-day or a 30-day mini skeins. Regardless if you do the 15-day or the 30-day, you will also get a 100-gram full skein. This is on my Glamorous base for the main, for day either 16 or 31, whichever Advent you choose. So those are available for a couple more weeks. My Halloween Advent, Hocus Pocus 2, pre-orders are still available for that. Those won't close till fall, early fall, late summer. And my holiday Advents, the ones that I am doing a collaboration with Joanna of Stitch in the High Notes, I have a few of those left. I don't know the exact number. We're doing a limited number this year, at least in the first round. We'll see what happens. But that one, you get 24 mini skeins, a full 100-gram skein for day 25. There is a bag, going to be a shawl-sized bag included from Stitch in the High Notes. And she does beautiful bags. If you've not seen any of her bags, go over and look at her bags. They're so well made. There will be a pattern included for the mini skeins, and there'll be some extra goodies. So if you've not done any of the Advents are fun. You just get a little prize each day you get to open, just something just for you. So I think for shop news, oh my gosh, I just looked at my background. Look at my closet. Time. Most of that is shipping supplies. Sorry, not sorry. So life updates. I mentioned earlier that my oldest granddaughter is moving. She is moving out in 2 days. I love her. I can't wait to love her from afar. So there is some packing going on. In fact, as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna go through stuff in the kitchen, because I have so much stuff. You know, where does this stuff come from? It just like multiplies overnight. So I'm gonna go tackle my kitchen and give her what I think she will need. And then I'm gonna hit the food pantries, and it's like, just take it all, just start fresh. So I'll tackle the food, and then I'm gonna help her, I think, pack up the rest of her room. So that is very exciting for both of us. My middle granddaughter is graduating tomorrow from university. I'm super, super proud of her. She worked all through college to help pay her way. And she's just developed into this beautiful young lady. Her plan is, this is her plan. This is not my plan. Her plan is to go abroad in the fall. She's going to work through the summer, go abroad in the fall for a year. She's at one time was talking about France. Now she's talking more about maybe the UK, somewhere there. Work for a year and then come back and go on to her master's. My plan would be for her to stay here, not here, she has her own place, to stay in town, work for a year. I think she has been asked to apply for a position at where she works now. She works at the Y, but at a more higher up, like management position, and then go back for her master's. So we shall see. She's not afraid to take off by herself. She wants to do this. She was going to study abroad, but the pandemic canceled all those plans. So she still wants to travel abroad. So we'll see about her. Youngest granddaughter is still living with a boyfriend and his parents, and everybody seems to be happy. So in about 2 days, I'm going to be an empty nester again. Pretty excited about that. The house will stay clean. Yeah, so I'm going to slowly, but semi-rapidly, clean this house from top to bottom. The carpets need shampooing. My office has been recently painted. The rest of the rooms have not been painted for, I'm trying to think. My daughter passed away 17 years ago, so I think it was 17 years ago I moved into this house, and it was painted then, and it hasn't been painted since. And kids that can't walk along without holding onto the wall for fear they may fall. Animals, kids. I mean, the carpet really needs replacing, but my roof needs doing, so I have to prioritize stuff. But I'm going to shampoo the carpets. I'm going to paint. I'm going to do new window treatments. I'm going to go to bed with a clean house, and I'm going to wake up with a clean house. So I am pretty excited about that. Then hopefully I can find time to do yard work. And I think that's another reason I need to start working 4 days a week. The weeds are growing. Nothing else has been planted. And the weeds are getting tall enough, I'm joking, that I'm going to wait till they get waist high and I won't have to bend over to pull them out. But if anybody wants to come weed my yard, help me spread bark, let me know. I may have a guest room or two here in the house. So now I think I am just rambling. I want to thank everybody for all your nice comments from last episode. I did speak to Kathleen, and we will be doing some more of our On the Needles podcast. Life just got real busy for her, and it seemed when she could podcast, I couldn't. When I could podcast, she couldn't. So we will be doing podcasts, so don't fret about that. So I know you guys all want to see what Kathleen's been up to. Like this video, subscribe, tell a friend. It just all helps me grow. When you're starting from zero, you have to work up a bit. And for all of you in the US, we have Memorial Day next weekend. So have fun, but be responsible. Don't, if the weather's warm where you can get out on the water, don't drink. If you're going to be driving any kind of vehicle, but just go out and have a fun time. And I will hopefully see all of you in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye.